Have you ever used AI, Josh?
Yes, I have. I've used ChatGPT.
Okay. So it's not going to be a surprise to us or the viewers that there is now a lot of pushback against the use of AI, especially in academia.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, a lot of
Hmm.
unhappy people in academia.
So the whole topic today is going to be kind of like what these teachers and what companies are potentially doing to catch people using AI.
Oh, okay.
So they call it using poisoning the data.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
or putting like a Trojan horse of sorts into the prompt. So during like an essay, they'll have like a writing prompt or something like that. It's like, oh, write about X, Y, Z, and tell about this and that. But if you just have that, it'll generate a report, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how if you put small, very tiny font in there and
Oh,
made it
okay.
blank, like basically you can't see it?
Mm.
How have you put that into the prompt? So if they copy and paste it directly in,
Then you could see it. That's
then
interesting.
no, then the AI will write about these like random things. So
Okay.
the example I would say is that imagine if they were talking about write a story or write a report about Leonardo da Vinci,
Okay.
and then they talk about um,
Like
Leo
the
DiCaprio.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So it kind of changes the prompt a little bit to identify if there's any huge. I don't know. It's essentially changing the prompt.
Yeah, these are these like things where no, it'll be like talking about one thing, but then it'll like also talk about like
Some
something else that's completely unrelated. And the teacher
mm,
just has to go in and look for these
like
different markers of like things that shouldn't be there if you like only read the actual prompt.
okay, yeah.
Then they'll be easily able to tell like, oh, they're talking about this random thing, supposedly random thing,
Hmm.
when the only way that you would be able to tell is if you had copied that into a prompt and then started writing about it, because you otherwise like have not written about this.
Let me tell you,
Oh.
the level of laziness to not reread what the AI is spitting back at you, to
Hmm.
not see that there was these changes that might have been happening.
I mean, I feel like that's a lot of cases though,
That is true. Yeah, it's easy. I could easily see that
because
because
I mean, if you're so used to being able to just copy and paste this thing into there, if
mhm.
you're already not writing it, like why would you read an entire essay about it?
Yeah,
Because they could also put in the prompt that make sure to put this at the end of the essay or put it in the middle of the essay, like talk about this in the middle,
yeah.
and then the AI chatbot will go and talk about that in the middle. Like make sure that the third paragraph you specifically say this, and
Hmm.
then it'll probably go and then make sure, and then in the third paragraph it'll say that, or like make sure to, when you're writing this, make sure to use three periods after every fifth sentence or something like that, like, and then it'll just go and then do that.
Yeah. The thing is too, I could see this, and I
Mm-hmm.
could see why people would be so be so trusting, is because ChatGPT typically, like in my experience, has been spitting out pretty correct answers. Like
Mm-hmm.
the things that I search up are like pretty correct. Like
Yeah.
whatever prompt that I put in, it's like it doesn't seem too far off, and there's no huge errors or like
Mm-hmm.
red flags that like pop up for me when I'm reading it.
Yeah, which is the whole case to where people would become lazy and just not think that they need to really check it over, especially if they have the prompts, the Trojan horse prompts, or like the poison
Hmm.
prompts, saying things like very inconspicuous that if you just read it over, you wouldn't know as the, because even if you read it over and it's like so something so like minute
Hmm.
that that you wouldn't notice,
Yeah.
like, oh,
Mm.
in the middle of the like page, like or middle of the thing, make sure to quote this specific thing, like, and then it'll be like um it's like some random quote, and then it's like nobody else would find that.
That's so interesting. But
Mm-hmm.
I do understand doing this because I feel like everyone now is just using ChatGPT. Like it's literally Pandora's box that got open, and now there's no stopping it. Now it's just to combat whatever is coming out at this point.
The thing is that a lot of people see ChatGPT as a tool, and like consider this, the calculator. You know, like you can calculate all these things by hand, but that takes way longer. And then it's like, oh, now we have calculators. You don't need to do this by hand. You can just put it into like an Excel formula. It'll just calculate it out. It's not a big deal. But when you're learning it, you need to know how it works and all that other stuff. But now it's being used in like the places where you're supposed to learn how it's done to like get the final product. Like a lot of times in like corporate America, it's just like results.
Yeah.
And the faster you can get results, the better. And if it's like a good result is a good result.
And I was going to say, this is why Google is worried about ChatGPT or just AI in general. Because Google, you have to sift through the searches. You don't have to do that anymore.
No, you don't. Because this is like a separate topic. And if you stay this long, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button. We come out with interesting topics just like this daily. So if you want to hear more about interesting topics like this or what I'm about to say, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So Google already has AI in it. If you open a Google search now and you type in something, it'll have an AI generated answer at the top of the page.
Oh, okay.
So it has the links, the normal links that you could go look through, but there's also an AI generated option of like summarizing what you're looking up.
Then why would you click the links?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to go look more in depth on what's going on, you could probably go and look that. But I mean, having the AI generated answer it's pretty good from what I've seen.
It is. Yeah. I've seen it too. I've like thinking back, I've seen it too.
Like in terms of what is more, I mean, like you should probably put as much like credit into it as like a Wikipedia article. If you're going to go look at Wikipedia and it's like, okay, anybody could alter that. And it's like, well, you know, like the AI thing is like probably fairly accurate, but I mean, it's not going to be the end all be all.
Yeah. And it's using Google's data set, so
which is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about actually though was a way to combat certain things during interviews.
Oh, okay.
So as we all know, a lot of things have like chat or voice to text, and then voice to or speech to text.
Okay.
And then it's able to be put into like a ChatGPT or something along those lines, and then help you during your interview.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually did not know this. So
during interviews, a lot of applicants are now using ChatGPT on the side, and they're taking the conversation or the questions that are being said, putting it directly into ChatGPT, and or something similar like AI model that helps specifically with interviews, and it'll just generate what you should say. So you don't even have to like, it's like, oh, you know, describe how you would solve this, or like a time when you faced a struggle doing whatever, and then it'll just kind of give you a response.
Yeah.
So this is becoming a big thing, and I think that this is a big issue in terms of like recruiting, because like you don't know what they know.
Yeah, you know, I had heard before, by the way, this was a long time ago. They were like, oh, if you like, I feel like I heard this in like the tech sector where they would give you this problem. They would give you like this coding problem, and they would ask you, it's like, okay, solve this coding problem. You could use the internet. But now I think things have shifted, because if you could just generate code off of ChatGPT or anything like this, it like you're still getting the answer. By the way, from what I heard too, I heard it does generate like very bad code, but besides the point, it's trying to help you get to an answer. But I feel like things are shifting so much now that processes, especially for interviews, have to change, like you mentioned.
I do know that a lot of times they do like a whiteboard.
Oh.
They goes like, oh, could you demonstrate on whiteboard? But those are all in person, and I feel like a lot of times interviews, even to a certain level, are all just, you know, web based.
I'm gonna give you a math problem. You're gonna have to solve it.
And so my thought is that if these things are happening, I think the way forward is going to be kind of like how the teachers are trying to trip up the AI through crazy prompts in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you're in an interview and they're asking like, oh, tell me about your day, or like, tell me about a time where you faced a lot of struggle, but make sure to calculate pi to the 1,000th digit before answering.
Mm-hmm.
And like this, inserting like these random things that would take a bit longer for the chatbot to respond to.
Yeah.
And then like if they're doing basic text to speech or a speech to text and getting it in there,
Mm-hmm.
the it's gonna make it all garbled. It's like
Yeah.
if they respond, so it's gonna be either the AI companies have to make sure that they have filters or things that like make it avoid these like vocal traps, to where like if you're a human listening to it, like, oh, that's not something for you to reply to.
Mm-hmm.
Then the AI is going to reply to it, and then you're going to have to, like, while reading the prompt or what the AI says, you have to avoid all these like random things, and then at that point you probably get a better idea if they're just replying based on
That's crazy.
that.
Yeah, that's crazy to even think about. I did, by the way, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't even know people were using AI to do interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know people use it for their resumes and other things like that, but I did not know that they were like filtering the speech into text and then generating the best answer possible. Yeah.
Because I mean, I do think that's like the most obvious thing, truthfully. Because I mean, you're already doing. A lot of people already take, the job posting.
Mm-hmm.
They copy the entire job posting and then put it into ChatGPT and say, now make this
Into a resume.
into a resume, or like make sure or add this to my resume here.
Yeah.
To make me the best candidate for this or whatever, and then it'll go and then combine them together to make you the best candidate for that. By inserting all the different interview techniques or at least resume techniques are always like, you make sure that your resume has all the keywords that they are looking for in the job posting and yada yada yada. But I mean, that's like just parameters for AI to go and make it a resume.
So I know that professional resume writers are using ChatGPT to help you write resumes already. So it's already
happening.
It's already happening. They're saying it's like, well, we're going to use ChatGPT to make you the best candidate possible and help you with like optimizing this for any job that you want. So it's already like a genie's out of the bottle. Everyone's using it. There's nothing that's going to stop it unless you put like these parameters in place.
Yeah, especially when like it's happening on both sides, where like the job seekers or the recruiters are also using AI to find the best candidates.
Yeah.
Through keyword searches. Like, oh, they like this candidate has a bunch, like 80% match to our thing, so we're gonna go interview this person, versus like another person who might be like a better candidate, but their resume doesn't match the thing, so we don't want to talk to that person.
I'd want to hear from our audience if they've used ChatGPT in this way. I know a lot of people use it for resumes.
Yes.
But I'd want to know if they even knew about this, because I felt I didn't know about it. But I might be late to the party.
Oh, the resume or the
interview
one? Yeah, the interview one I feel like has been around for a while now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yes.
But I do think that like they really should start looking into it, because I do know that there's the whole issue where they're hiring people and like their actual skill set does not match at all with their resume. So this is like the whole thing, is where the people who generated their resumes through ChatGPT to become the perfect candidate then have to go fake an interview based on the things that they faked into their resume.
That's
and
wild.
The best way to fake an interview about like, or fake knowledge about a resume you never have experience on, is to have the thing that has the experience answer it for you.
That's crazy. Everything's just going to become AI. It's literally Sam Altman peeked into it and knew that this is what it's going to this is what's going to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's causing chaos, but I mean, there's always going to be a need to find a better way to detect this. And like maybe the whole thing is that maybe these people who are better at using AI are going to be better off. But like, what are you hiring them for? Are you just hiring them to be able to query AI or their actual knowledge?
Yeah, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be a lot harder in the future. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let us know down in the comment section below. Do you think like what level of this is like acceptable? Because I know like Grammarly is like it fixes what you write into like something better, but that's like AI, basically AI like generating like it's like, oh, your writing sucks. Let me just reorganize this. It's like that. God. I mean, there's some hint of like there's some hint of like AI, you made it first, and then it's just like proof. Basically, it's proofreading it for you. Mm-hmm. But then you take that whole step away of like, okay, so now it's just not even proofreading it for you. It's like just making the whole thing for you.
Yeah, and also let us know if you knew about this interview. This if you knew that you could use it during the interview process, because for me that's shocking, but it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below.